guys, it's Jordan, and today I'm going to be doing some EOS DIYs. Some of them I found on Pinterest, some of them I just came up with. It's just a collection of my favorite EOS DIYs. Also, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe by clicking that red button down below. And let's just get started with this video. So this first DIY is how to make EOS Blush. So you're first going to take out the lip balm inside your EOS and then use a razor or a knife or something to kind of pop out the inner part of the EOS. Then you're going to take that popped out section and screw it into the lid of the EOS container. Next, using the lip balm that you cut out, take it and put it into, you can either use a double boiler method or what I'm using, which is a little bit easier for me. This is just a chocolate melter and it works really well for me. As you're waiting for that to melt, add in some shea butter and a little bit of lipstick. You can also add in a little eyeshadow pigments if you want to as well. Then carefully pour that into your container and pop it into the freezer. When you take it out, snap the two sides back together and unscrew the lid, and this is what it looks like. Here is a swatch of it, and I think it works pretty well. This next DIY is an EOS lipstick, and you're going to start it the same way you did the other one. Actually, you start all of these DIYs the same exact way. To make the lipstick, I'm actually using a couple crayons for the pigment, and then I'm adding some coconut oil. Then I'm waiting for that to melt and pouring it into the container. And then I put it in the freezer and took it out, and then I snapped it together again and unscrewed it, and this is what it looks like. Here's a swatch and what the final color is, and I think it works surprisingly really well. This next DIY is a little different. We're going to be making a jewelry holder. So after taking out the lip balm and the centerpiece, I'm just going to be taking some scissors and cutting the little pieces in the middle so that the inner piece just kind of comes out. I'm just going to be using an X-Acto knife to get a closer cut on each of the little spokes on the inside. And then to make the inside even more smooth, I'm just taking some sandpaper and just kind of smoothing it around the edges. Then you can snap that back on to the container. And that is the basis for your little jewelry holder, but I just decided to paint mine, so I'm just using some nail polish and just giving it kind of a random design. I'm also adding a little glitter, and you can really do whatever you want to decorate it, but when I was done and it is dry, this is what mine looks like, and you can unscrew it and put rings and any kind of jewelry you want to, and it's great for traveling or really anything if you just want to organize your jewelry a little bit. This next DIY is a DIY bronzer. So to make this, I'm using the original lip balm that came in the EOS, and I'm also adding some shea butter to that. And then I'm adding a couple spoonfuls of cocoa powder, and you really don't want to be shy with this. I actually ended up adding way more than I showed on camera because it was not pigmented enough. And once it is melted, you can pour it into your container and put it in the freezer. And then when you take it out, this is what it looks like. It blends really easily and it looks really natural, but you can also be a lot more dramatic with it if you want to. It's perfect for contouring. This next one is a DIY lip scrub, and you're going to want to start by adding the EOS lip balm, then also add a little bit of petroleum jelly, and lastly the secret ingredient to make it into a lip scrub is just to add some sugar, and you can add as much as you want. You probably could have added like twice as much as I did here, but once you add the sugar, you're going to want to pour it into your container really quickly because you don't want the liquid to melt the sugar, so pour it in and then put it in the freezer right away. Then when you take it out, it works as a normal lip scrub, and it's pretty cool because you can feel the little sugar exfoliating your lips, and it works really well. This next DIY is an EOS perfume. So what you're going to need for this is just some plain beeswax that has no scent to it, and then also add some petroleum jelly so it has some softness. And then lastly, just take your favorite perfume and squirt it into your little mixture. I squirted mine probably about 20 times, but obviously the more you squirt, the more it's going to smell. And then pour it into your container and put it in the freezer. And when you take it out, you can rub it where you would normally put on perfume, and it smells really good. This next DIY is a little different. It's an EOS candle. So after taking out the lip balm and the middle piece to your EOS container, you're going to need to have a wick, and then just cut the wick pretty short. And then using hot glue, you can just glue it to the bottom of your EOS container. Then just using some scissors, snip off the spokes wheel part of the middle piece. And this is obviously where your candle is going to go. To make the candle wax, I just used crayons, but you could also use beeswax and then color it with eyeshadow pigments or crayons or however you want to color it. Then just use a few drops of an essential oil so it smells good. And once it's completely melted, you can just pour it in. And you're going to want to pour it all the way up to the brim. And what I did was actually I waited for that to cool down and then I poured a little bit more so that it got a little bit fuller. And then you can actually light it like a normal candle and it'll burn like a normal candle, and it's pretty cool. It works really well. These would also make really cute gifts. This DIY is just turning your plain EOS into something very colorful. So what you're going to need for this one is to split your EOS lip balm into 3 sections, and then just take the first section and put it into your pot, and then take some eyeshadow pigments and use that to color it whatever color you want. Then wait for it to melt and pour it into your container. Then take the next lip balm section and do basically the same thing. Add a different color of eyeshadow, wait for it to melt, and pour it into your container. But you're going to want to make sure that the stuff in your container that's already there is already cooled down and dry. And then finally repeat that process with the last step and put it into the freezer or fridge. When you take it out, you have this really cool multicolored EOS lip balm, and it works exactly the same, but it just has cool colors. The next DIY is an EOS lotion bar, and for this I'm using the original EOS lip balm, a spoonful of coconut oil, and some shea butter. I also have a little bit of color and sparkles in there from the last DIY, so that's why it looks a little bit colorful. After putting it into the freezer and then taking it out, you can use it on your hands or wherever you want to, and it's so smooth and soft and works really, really well. And lastly, this DIY is an EOS Jolly Rancher candy. So I used about 5 or 6 of those little hard candy Jolly Ranchers, and I put them in the pot, and you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer for these to melt. Once it starts to look and get pretty goopy like this, I just first put it into the lid without the little centerpiece on it. Then I quickly screwed on the centerpiece and took the rest of the Jolly Rancher and I put it on the top so that it's connected to the centerpiece. But also be very, very careful because it's really hot. Trust me, it hardens really, really fast. So then I just put it in the freezer for a little bit and took it out, and you have this cute little Jolly Rancher EOS, and it's kind of random and weird, but it tastes really good, and it makes your tongue blue. So that was the end of this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to my channel by clicking this button right here. And if you use any of these DIYs, don't forget to post a picture on Instagram or Twitter and tag me, which is my social medias over here. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys all later. Bye!